Kevin J. Johnston here. We have an auditor. This auditor is at the phone number of 604-220-7021. For some reason, she is flying to a small town in British Columbia to trespass and to criminally harass and to extort the good people of British Columbia. Well, I've given her a phone call to ask a bunch of questions about her authority and her jurisdiction. You're going to hear her dodge every single question that I'm asking about her incapacity to do a dang thing to me or to anybody else. This is me ditching an auditor. Have a listen to the conversation.
Allison speaking.
Hi, is this Elsa from the CRA?
It's Allison Gahan, yes?
Oh, Allison. I'm so sorry. I got your name wrong. This is... How are you?
Oh, good morning. I'm fine. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I understand I wasn't really paying attention when we spoke, but you said you want to come by the garage today. Is that right?
Well, I'm trying to get access to books and records for payroll review. And, sorry, excuse me. And you were advising me that you have a bookkeeper who does that. So I wanted to get the contact information to contact them directly. And you haven't been able to provide that for me last week. So I was indicating that today I'm flying into Powell River and that I could swing by your place of business to obtain the contact information.
Okay, isn't that a violation of the Privacy Act if I start giving people's names and numbers to members of the government?
I don't think so.
Really?
It's just with regards to the payroll account review.
What payroll account?
You have a bookkeeper.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
So,
Could you maybe tell me exactly what we are talking about here? Because I wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Now I'm paying attention.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm with the trust examination section, and we set up appointments to conduct review of books and records for your payroll. So we want access to your bank statements and payroll records to bring your payroll account up to date.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry.
So we are field office.
I need to beg your forgiveness here. I don't know what the trust thing means. What does that mean? I didn't open a trust with you.
Trust? Yeah, no, you have a trust account. We call them trust accounts where you have GST and payroll that you withhold deductions for CPP, EI, and income tax in trust, and then you remit them once a month. Those are called trust accounts, and I am a trust account examiner.
I see.
Right?
Okay,
so
maybe, again, I don't mean to cut you off. I have a lot of questions because I don't fully understand the system. So my question would be then to you is, I never signed a contract for a trust account. Could you maybe tell me why you're saying I have a trust account?
Yeah. Well, you have a payroll account, which is a trust account, right? So
I don't know. Is it?
There are funds withheld, and you remit those deductions for CPP, EI, and tax, and then you prepare a T4 return, and it should balance with the remittances that you've paid on the account, right? So right now, the account right, there was a T4 return filed for your employees for 2024, and there was no remittances received, right?
Okay.
So,
right.
sorry, is it 2023? Yes, actually 2023. There were 4 T4 slips filed, one for yourself included, and it reported income. It reported CPP, EI, and income tax deducted, right? However, those deductions for CPP, EI, and tax were not remitted, right? So right now we're showing a shortage of over $13,000 in the 2023 year.
Okay.
That needs to be resolved.
Again, I must...
That's my purpose.
I must absolutely beg your forgiveness here because I truly do not understand, and I want to make sure that I do understand. So, what happened here is I opened up a corporation, but I never phoned the CRA to open up a trust account. Are you saying that when I applied for a payroll account, I got tricked into signing to become a trust account holder? Is that what happened?
You got tricked?
It sounds like I got tricked.
When you open a payroll account, when you open a payroll account, right?
Yes.
That's it. All you did is you registered with CRA
Yes.
to get a payroll deductions account. That's it. There's no signing for a trust. It's just that's what they call these accounts. And it's my purpose is to, if there's a discrepancy on these accounts, it can be referred for an examination of books and records, right? So in this case, it was. And I'm just trying to determine if there's anything owing, if that 2023 T4 shortage is valid, right? Then we just send you a notice of assessment to pay the outstanding balance.
Okay, hold on. Again, forgive me, please. I'm not understanding. All right, let's go to the beginning here. So when I opened up the company, are you saying that I actually did not have to open up a payroll account at the beginning? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. Okay, I don't know where this is going. When you registered for the company, a business number was automatically created by the province of BC when you registered for the incorporation October 10th, 2023, right? Automatically, a business number is assigned to your corporate tax account. On that corporate tax account, you file your corporate tax returns once a year, right? Now, just because you're a corporation doesn't mean you have employees, right? So in this case, in addition to the corporate tax account, a payroll account was registered as well because you have employees and deductions are supposed to be taken, remitted, and reported, right? And you give your employees their slips so they can file their tax returns, right? In addition to that, you're collecting GST as well, right? So you have to register for a GST account as well, right? So we have 3 accounts under your business number for corporation, payroll, and GST.
Okay, so I have a lot of questions, and this is not me giving you a difficult time. This is me making sure that I fully understand the premise of the CRA and what you are looking to do and why. So let's repeat what you've just said here. When I opened up this account, this corporation, are you telling me that I did not need to ever do a T4 slip, that I actually never needed to do any taxes or any source deductions for my staff? I could have just paid them and not done T4s. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, that's incorrect, right? So you have employees, you have to register for a payroll account, right? Which you did.
Okay. Well, hold on. No, wait a second. What if I have employees and I just don't feel like registering for a payroll account?
What do you mean? What's your question? What happens then? Or
Yeah. What happens then? Do you guys show up with guns and arrest me? Like I'm trying to understand the system here. I don't think I've ever really been educated in tax, and I appreciate you taking the time to educate me.
Well, what happens then is we don't know. We don't know you have employees. We don't know that you're paying employees and taking deductions, and we don't know any of that, right?
Okay.
However, the employee might come to CRA and say, he's not taking deductions off my pay, or, whatever, right? But there will, hopefully on your corporate tax return, you're expensing salaries and wages, right, as a deduction, right? So it might be noted that you're expensing salaries and wages, but there's no payroll account, right? So it might get flagged for a review, right? As far as that goes, no guns, no SWAT teams showing up at your door, just government workers noticing something, maybe sending you a letter, maybe giving you a phone call, asking to clarify. If in fact you have employees, then we would go ahead and get you registered for a payroll account, and you can start remitting and reporting on the payroll account, right?
Okay, so now let me throw this at you. I think I just heard you tell me that every single thing that I report to the CRA is entirely voluntary. Did I just hear you say that?
Voluntary? No, you have to abide by the taxation laws and report your deductions correctly, right? I mean, if you have salary and wages, you have to report the salary and wages, right? I mean, that's...
But are you quoting something out of the...
Yeah.
I get that, but are you quoting something out of the Criminal Code of Canada or just one of the acts? Let me hear that, please.
Yeah, it's not Criminal Code of Canada. It's just the legislation for Excise Tax Act and Income Tax Act and things like that. Yeah.
Okay, so who does the Excise Tax Act and the Income Tax Act pertain to?
Who does it pertain to?
Yes.
Yeah, well, individuals or corporations or partnerships that have employment income being paid to their workers, right? That's basically what
I think maybe I should rephrase. Yeah, I'm going to rephrase the question a little bit here. Laws pertain to everybody, so like nobody can steal and blow stuff up, which is acceptable. We should all follow those. But my understanding of the Act, the Income Tax Act and the Excise Tax Act and even the GST Act is that an act pertains only to those who choose to be governed by it, which would be an employee of the CRA. But I don't work for the CRA, so I'm wondering why I need to be obeying anything within those acts. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. I can't really continue the conversation. If you don't want to cooperate with regards to my review of your payroll account, then there's not much I can do about that, right?
Okay, but
so
why are you surrendering in this conversation? This is not an argument. This is not a battle. I'm not trying to win a prize. I'm trying to understand the Tax Act, and you're not answering my questions. I think that's a little upsetting.
Yeah. Well, I think that I've been cooperating with your questions.
Okay, but that you think you have, but because you're not answering the rest of my questions, I do not think you've been cooperative. In fact, if you're going to cut the conversation off, I'm going to view you as rude, and I don't want to do that. So could you please just answer my questions?
If you let me finish. If you let me finish.
Yes.
Okay. I'm actually heading to the airport now to fly to Powell River, unfortunately. That's why my time is limited this morning. Okay? There's no... I'm not trying to, cut you off or be rude or anything like that. So that's why I have to cut the conversation short. I can absolutely continue this with you.
What time should I call
today.
you? What time should I call you today? Because I really would like to know everything that I need to know in reference to my rights before I have you inside of my business. And that's all this is. I want to make sure I understand.
I can't give you an exact time. Maybe.
What time do you land?
Well, I have appointments this morning ahead of meeting with you. So once I land, I have appointments already.
How long are you in town for?
And I'm leaving on Friday afternoon.
Could I book a telephone time with you for Tuesday, and then if everything is copacetic, I would then at that point invite you into the shop? Would that work for you?
Tuesday, what time?
Well, let me think here.
How's
8 a.m.?
Tuesday is, pardon me?
I could do 7 a.m., I could do 8 a.m., I could do 6 a.m. I'm up at 5 every day.
No. I have appointments on Tuesday, morning and afternoon, so why not say 3 o'clock, 3:30?
Oh, no, I'm a morning guy. God, no, please, let's do this in the morning. Once the afternoon shift starts, I'm working until 7 or 8. I can't even take a phone call. That's the problem. And the other issue is you did want to come to my shop in the afternoon, and I can't do it. I have to do mornings.
Right. Well, that's fine then. Well, what I could do, are you registered for my business account?
I have zero interest in playing with websites. I'm a mechanic. I don't have time for this.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. I
So
just don't.
What I can do, unfortunately, because of the mail disruption, we're not allowed to send out any correspondence, right? Which I think is what you need to get started with.
I
this
don't think
process.
I think I need to continue this conversation and just get my questions answered. And then if everything is satisfactory, then I'm going to invite you over. I'll put coffee on and we can go through my books. But I just don't understand why CRA members are so apprehensive about answering questions. There was another representative I spoke to, and she also would not answer my questions. I'm wondering, why is that? Why does the CRA not answer questions?
I'm not sure about that. In the meantime, what I can do is I'm fully booked this week, and I had just put together a space and time to come by. The purpose of for me to come by is just to pick up information with regards to who's got access to your books and records, like your bookkeeper, right? You were saying that you have a bookkeeper who does it. That was the only purpose of my stopping by, is just to pick up that information. I wasn't able to obtain it from you last week.
But as I said earlier, if I'm in violation of the Privacy Act, you're asking me to give you the names and numbers of people that do not work for me, and I'm not authorized to speak on behalf of anybody else because I'm not a lawyer for them. If the CRA is asking me to be in violation of the Privacy Act and I get sued, will the CRA cover my legal fees to fight that in court?
Okay. We need to stop this, okay?
No, we don't. We don't. Why are you being demeaning? Why are you being demeaning to me?
You're talking about issues that are not relative.
Well, actually, I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with you, politely disagree with you. The Canada Revenue Agency states to Canadians that we have to give you paperwork and we have to do what we're told. The CRA representatives sometimes make phone calls and threaten to take people's houses away and bank accounts and cars and...
Okay.
I need to understand...
You're getting wary here.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not at all.
Stay focused.
I am focused.
Stay focused on my purpose. I'm not talking about taking people's houses away. This is not relevant.
It is relevant because the CRA does these things. I've heard the conversations. They do these things.
Okay, so if you feel uncomfortable cooperating with me with regards to my purpose, with regards to your payroll deductions account, that's fine, okay? So we can end things here. What we'll do is we'll send you letters and, because clearly you're not comfortable, and that's fine.
Well, I could be comfortable if we finish the conversation and I got all the answers to all of my questions.
You're talking like you're throwing out facts and figures as it relates to issues that are not what I'm trying to do here. I'm not trying.
My question is now, why are you so uncomfortable with me asking you questions about the CRA?
I'm not uncomfortable. You're the one who's not comfortable.
It's a matter of you could earn my comfort by answering my.
I don't see that happening, quite frankly, because every time I'm trying to respond, you come up with, I sincerely apologize, I don't understand. Now, Privacy Act, there's guns, there's homes, there's I'm comfortable. It seems like you're not comfortable.
Okay, but you are not inside my head. You do not know me on a personal level. It's wrong of you and rude of you to tell me.
You're saying I'm uncomfortable.
Well, I'm asking you.
You're not inside my head either.
Okay,
right?
So are you comfortable answering my questions so that I can establish with you some type of...
Please. Okay.
Why are you talking to me like this?
I think that at this... Well, I'm actually trying to advise you that we have to move forward from here.
Okay,
right? So if you're not comfortable because of what you're saying to me, right? You're asking me to breach the privacy laws. Will I pay for your legal fees? Right? We have to stop, and this conversation has to stop. And again,
okay,
If you're not comfortable,
Look,
that's
I
completely
don't
understandable.
I don't want you telling me how I feel about things. I'm just telling you that we have to establish trust here. And right now, because of your apprehension, there's a trust issue here. If you answer my
There
questions,
is no apprehension.
if you're not apprehensive, then answer my
I've been answering
questions.
your questions. I've been answering your questions.
Okay,
Okay,
but let
so-
me. Okay, hold on. I got to ask you this question then. Obviously, people do not ask as many questions as I do about the inner workings of the CRA and your validity as a judiciary, which to me right now seems you have absolutely none. It seems to me like you have absolutely no power whatsoever. You have no jurisdiction over equity. You have no jurisdiction to even enter my property.
I understand what you're saying.
Well, am I right or
We're
wrong?
going to leave it there.
Am I right or wrong?
I'm going to leave it there, okay?
I'd like you to
And
answer my
I have
questions.
I have to end the conversation. I have to go. And I appreciate you calling me this morning.
Okay, so then
I
can we do
really
this?
do,
Can we do
and-
this? Hold on. I got to do one more thing here. I tell you what we'll do. Because you're so apprehensive and it seems like you have something to hide, I'm going to officially ban you from the property forever. And what I would like you to do is to never contact me again unless you're willing to answer my questions. You are correct. You should do everything in writing. If you enter my property, I'm going to call 911 because right now, as it stands, I'm actually quite afraid of you personally. There's something wrong when a government agent will not answer questions about the agency they work for. Do you not agree with that?
I have to end the conversation. I won't be coming by your place of business this week, and perhaps in the weeks coming, we'll send out some correspondence for you, okay?
So do not come to the property until you and I agree that we're going to have a meeting and I actually invite you. How does that sound?
I will not be coming to your property.
I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to receiving your letter.
Thank you.
All right. Have a
good
great
day.
Take care. Bye now.
Bye.
And there you have it, everybody. Kevin J. Johnston here, showing you that the CRA, they know they're full of garbage. They know they're full of crap. They know that everything that they do is predicated on lies. The only thing that the CRA has is intimidation, a societal belief that they are police. They are not. A societal belief that they have authority or jurisdiction. They do not. You heard me tell her she's banned from my property forever, essentially. She's not going to call me and answer my questions because A, she probably doesn't know, or B, she does know, but she does not want to actually admit that the Canada Revenue Agency has no power. All right, everybody, if you want to get rid of auditors like I just did right there, get a hold of me right now at kevinjjohnston.com. I ditch auditors for the low, low price of just 2,500 Canadian dollars. They go bye-bye. You do not have to endure these people. You are going to be living auditor-free, harassment-free. Oh, yes, you heard it first. They don't even have guns. They can't even show up. Oh, I love what I do for a living. kevinjjohnston.com.